Hello, welcome to my channel, Andrew Winnipeg Podcast Minenko. This is the section Andrew reads the news. I will be reading from Tuesday, April 20th, copy of the Winnipeg Free Press. All credit and copyright goes to the Winnipeg Free Press as well as Jordan Press. This is just for educational purposes. Liberals aim for $10 a day daycare. Ottawa. The federal government is diving into the deep end of childcare, promising billions in new spending for provinces to create spaces and drive down fees. The Liberals' 2021 budget doesn't commit or estimate how many new spaces could be created by the spending, focusing instead on the cost to parents. The plan would aim to see an average drop in fees next year by 50% for preschool or daycare spaces that last year ranged from about $451 per month in Winnipeg to $1,250 a month in Toronto. Eventually, the Liberals aim to have an average fee of $10 a day across the country outside of Quebec, which has its own system. The proposal address calls not only from advocates, but from business groups as well, to help thousands of mothers return to the labor force after their numbers dwindled due to daycare closures during the COVID-19 pandemic. Bringing down parent fees by publicly funding the operation of regulated services is the way to build the universal quality system needed by family in communities in all regions of Canada, said Morna Ballantyne, executive director of the advocacy group Child Care Now. She added that provinces and territories who are responsible for child care will be hard-pressed to say no to the offer of federal money, even if it does not come with strings attached. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland said the plan won't arrive in an instant, noting it is a long-term strategy that will take a countrywide effort to invest in children and young parents. This is going to be an enduring investment in making it possible for parents and especially women to participate in the labor force, Freeland said at a news conference. I really do not want to understate either the complexity and the difficulty of building early learning and childcare, nor to underestimate how transformational this will be for women, for all parents, for children, and for the Canadian economy. Spending would start at just over $3 billion a year, not taking into account the government's pre-existing 10-year spend on childcare unveiled 4 years ago. Funding rises from there to reach almost $8.4 billion in new spending in 2026, with the government promising $8.3 billion annually thereafter. The budget projections stop at 2026. After what the document describes as an initial 5-year agreement designed to have the federal government cover half of national child care funding. David McDonald, a senior economist at the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives, who keeps a close eye on child care policy, said the overall spend is comparatively larger than plans previously unveiled by the Brian Mulroney government in 1987, the Chrétien Liberals in 1993, and the Martin Liberals in 2005. All of these previous childcare plans were dashed against the rocks of an election, he said. This budget has the potential to be transformative for the sector if the high hopes of activists aren't dashed in the next election. The first 5 years of the Liberal plan will focus on support for non-for-profit providers, leaving out for-profit centers and unregulated care. After year 5, the budget says the government will work with provinces and territories to revisit funding needs based on what the money has purchased to that point. All families will pay for the plan, but only families who choose or can access the type of care the federal government favors receives the subsidized benefits, said Andrea Mrozak, a senior fellow at the faith-based think tank Cardis. The proposed plan devalues the work parents and other caregivers do outside of an institutional setting. The budget also commits $34.5 million more to a federal secretariat that is guiding policy work inside the government, and the creation of a national advisory council to highlight needs, concerns, and issues in the sector. And it also promises legislation by the fall to enshrine the spending into law, so it cannot be easily undergone or watered down by a change in government or cabinet priorities. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland says Ottawa's long-term child care spending will make it possible for parents to participate in the labor force, especially women. Thank you. Have a good day.